Welcome to They Tried to Bury Us. My name is Tamer Kattan. I'll be your host. I'm a comedian, a writer, and an actor. I was born in Egypt and moved to America when I was just a kid, so I'm very proud of being an immigrant. And ever since I started doing comedy, I've met more and more immigrants, and I have found more and more amazing stories, and that's what this podcast is all about. Each week, I'm going to have a new guest. They're going to sit down and share with us their American origin stories, and we're going to get to know each other better, and we're going to find out that we're all just the same. So tune in each week, tell every single person you know, and thanks for listening. Hey guys, welcome back to They Tried to Bury Us. This is a very special episode 12. I'm Tamer Kattan, joined as always by my co-host,
Kattan.
Thank you.
I'm so happy today. I have Yahel and Andy.
Yeah, I'm happy they're here. We haven't gotten to the introduction yet. You're jumping ahead.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
I told you I said no cocaine on Sundays. You're so speedy.
So sorry.
Welcome back. I have noticed that you have a little bit of celebrity happening in your life. This is you were on the Ethnically Ambiguous podcast.
What
Everybody talked about what an awesome mom you are and how all of them wanted to adopt you, which is bullshit.
Oh, awesome young women.
They are awesome young women.
And I have to include Zach too, because he was a very nice man. And thank you because we use your table from the garage. So
thank you. See what's happening,
good.
Paul?
Yeah.
I'm chasing my dream. Mom comes in year 8 and says, F you. I'm worthy of television. You could be the person to come to the house and do the dishes. That's what happened. Unbelievable. Well, thank you for being here. We missed you last episode. We're glad you're back. And this is a special episode because you know our guest today. Yep. I'm really excited to welcome our guest today, Yahel and his wife, Andy Sharabi.
Hello.
Yes, sir. Hello.
And here's what's so special about this guest. What happened last week to you?
So last week I went on Wednesday to get my citizenship. Oh. So I passed the test, I passed the interview. Now I'm waiting for the oath, and then I will become an American.
Amazing.
Oh my God.
Amazing.
You're American
yes,
already.
I'm very excited.
You and I feel like, what's that great donut place, Paul? What's that donut? Krispy Kremes, right? Remember when Krispy Kreme turns on a light when the donuts are just out of the oven? If you were a donut, the light would be on. This is a freshly baked immigrant, still warm from the immigrant oven. And Yahel, your heritage is Yemeni?
Yes,
right?
I born in Israel in 1985. My parents born in Yemen and then immigrated to Israel when it became a country in 1948. And Israeli, Yemeni, Middle Eastern.
Amazing.
Yeah.
You're like a mezza appetizer platter of all your hummus, your baba ganoush, your everything together all in one. And dude, you have I rarely say this phrase, even though I'm a Californian. I rarely use the phrase, "Oh, you've got great energy," because people abuse that phrase. But you genuinely do. Like there's like an aura off this person. I swear to God. Like both of you guys have a company here in Los Angeles called Soul Pump Fitness. How would you guys describe Soul Pump?
So Soul Pump it's a movement studio.
A movement studio. Did you hear that, LA?
It's a movement, yeah. Because we're not a gym. A lot of people they talk with that. And you have a gym. We're not about doing a gym. We're about doing a movement and move the body with the soul, with the mind, with everything is in unison. Because I want the human body will work in unison with all what you have inside and outside.
I love it.
Yeah, it's not just about lifting weight, but just be playful.
Yeah, I love it. That's super cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's get into your story. Because I think your guys' story is like one of my favorite. It's my favorite of all the different kinds of immigration stories. It's a story that starts with love. And I love that. I also love your Cheech and Chong marijuana socks. I didn't realize you were you're like my favorite person right now in the whole world.
I have to be perfect.
I love it. Okay, so let's see. Such a rich heritage, such a rich background. So tell me about what was life like before you met Andy?
Boring, but then I met her.
I find that hard to believe.
No, life was fun and life was fantastic. Life was in Israel most of the time before I kind of start more traveling the world and moving into the state, like where I want to be.
Where in Israel?
So I born in Haifa.
Oh, cool. Beautiful.
It's
We're going to go back together.
Yes, please.
The best place.
So I got my neighbor that we share a wall. He's Egyptian, of course. All Egyptians are cool, by the way. You're the coolest in the Middle East, truly.
Awesome. I love hearing that.
Rastafari vibe, you chill, you're awesome. So I really, really love it. So when I get my passport, we're going to go to Israel, and then we're going to rent a car and then cross the border and go to Egypt.
Yes.
Awesome.
So that's going to be awesome. And we can do it together.
Let's do it. I'm down. I'm down.
Yeah, will be fun.
So, Haifa, north of Israel. I live in Kiryat Motzkin. It's 20 minutes from Haifa towards the north. Very, very close, like to Haifa, not far away. All Israel is super small. It's from the north to the south. It's like 7 hours. So it's not so far. Born and raised in Israel, is Israeli to Yemeni parents. So it's more Sephardic Jews. We have Ashkenaz Jews. We have Sephardic Jews. Little bit different.
Sure.
Different, kind of more like maybe black and white here. There's a lot of challenges with the Sephardic Jews in Israel in the beginning. Some of them took advantage by the European Jews. For example, one famous story that's happened in the 70s or in the 80s, bunch of the Yemeni Jews have a lot of kids because there was more religion and more village mentality, let's just say, for the understanding. No disrespect to none of them. And some of Ashkenaz Jews that cannot have kids, the babies will be stolen from them. And they will tell to the parents that the baby will die, and then they will bring it to the mom. And like you have a mom that have 10 kids, but one of them is missing. So she tell him, show me the body, but there's no body. So that's there was in the beginning more challenges, but as we grow as Israelis and we melt together from all the culture.
So what was the motivation for doing that? Why did they do that?
They say like they have a bunch of kids, take one.
Wow.
Like, you know what I mean?
And what would they do? What would they do with the baby when they took the baby?
They raise it. But then you have two like Ashkenaz Jewish parents with like dark skin like me kid.
Wow.
Like curly hair is like, I don't think this is my parents.
Wow.
And then when they check and they look into it, so a bunch of stuff start flashing towards the surface.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, that was very like kind of big story. Maybe because there was less educate and there was more into the religion life, into community life, and into kind of reading the Torah, and that was their life.
Yeah.
But always when someone come with more education, sometimes they take advantage of these mentalities.
It goes to show you, like, the human condition is, even when it's Jews among Jews or Muslims among Muslims or Christians among Christians, we still find ways to hurt each other.
Always.
It's crazy.
I agree, and that's why, for example, in our studio, we're big on practicing love, because it's easy to hurt. It could take a place very easy, but to overcome your ego and to overcome whatever a negative challenge that you try to do to another human, take work. Yeah. But by practice and repetition, we can speak love.
That's beautiful, man. I love that. So where did you learn that? Now, what was life growing up for you, and when did you learn this life philosophy or embrace it?
So I grew up to a family of 6 kids.
Wow.
I have a twin sister.
Look how jealous my mom just got. My mom wanted 6 kids so bad.
I love big family.
But I ate the other kids in the womb.
I think you did.
I told you I was hungry.
Oh my God.
I have a twin sister that she's awesome. She's fantastic. Her name is Rachel. So there is an old song that the singer is Shoshana Damari, she's an Israeli singer. And it's called Rachel, Rachel, Your Light Yahel. So she's been called Rachel or Rachel in English, and my name is Yahel. And I have another 4 big brother, Eshel, Ophir, Aviad, and Ronen. And I think we was a mistake because we was coming like in the end, like my older brother is 50, and then it's going to 46, 44, and then 40, and then we like 33.
Wow.
We wasn't unplanned. They got 2 of us.
So
it's like,
almost 12 years later?
Yeah. Well, my mom is like 68.
She's still young, though, for having adult kids.
But that show you her mom loves sex. Good for her. And it comes double.
Look, my mom is the head of TMZ Middle East.
Yeah.
Just making up stories.
It's not story, it's true. You know, she got the end with double.
Yeah.
The twins. That's a good sex.
She went for it. What a way to close the show.
Yeah,
it's like at the end of a fireworks show, more fireworks at the end.
Yes.
So you guys were the grand finale.
So yeah, we was the grand finale. I don't know if they thought it, but that's like looking backward, we definitely was a good gift for them.
Yeah.
So we was the youngest kids. It was a nice to grow in a big family. I'm like your mom. I love big family. I think the more the better.
Yeah.
Just big family, like tribe mentality. Everybody know each other, love each other. You never need to buy clothes because you take the older clothes. Like every dinner became celebration because you need to feed so many mouths.
That's nice.
So that's super,
Noises.
super. Yes,
I love it.
That's what I love.
Yeah.
If I'm in a house and it's too quiet, I'm like, what's going on?
Yeah.
I
What's
agree.
going on? It's
Something
like,
wrong.
Yes, too suspicious. Totally.
Yeah.
So noise is good. People talking, fighting, argument. It's good.
Yeah.
It just
You know what? I think of it like jeans. Like if a house is too quiet, it's like jeans that are too new. I'm like, that's a nerdy house. I like jeans that are broken in with rips and tears and holes. Like,
agree.
that's the way a home should feel. Like a little worn in and customized to the experiences you had. It's like jeans.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it because it's fun.
It's
like-
great. Yeah.
And you also learn how to your social skills learn how to develop when you develop among other kids.
That's such a great point.
Yeah.
One of my favorite quotes is this Mark Twain quote where he says, "I'll never let school get in the way of my education."
Yes, I love it.
So there's so much to be learned in between class, and there's so much that you learn when you're in a family like that to learn how to deal with conflicts or disagreements, or learning how to just take it sometimes
Or
and be
fight.
like, exactly.
Or love.
Yeah,
You
because
know?
it's teach you to comfort. Comfort is the word, and not like whatever someone say, you just not saying in your head no, but agree like outside. You have to speak to know how to challenge yourself and challenge your thought and his thought or her thought. That's one of our challenges in university today. People afraid to speak their mind, so they don't learn how to actually argue in a positive way. Like, have a discussion. Like, you don't need to agree with me, but don't hate me.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I'm saying. Don't hate me because I'm different. I have different opinion than you. So I feel like when you grow in bigger family and there is a lot of diversity, it's almost force you to like, damn, I have to break out of my shell.
Yeah.
If not, I will be eaten alive by my own brother.
Yeah, I
So
agree.
it's like, you better step up, man.
Yeah. That's great.
Yeah.
So was that common? Six kids? Is that...
I think among Sephardic Jews, yes. Because at that time, like my mom come from a family of 9 kids.
Wow.
So like that was bringing them like buy one, get one.
Chickens.
I love it.
Like, like
Rabbit.
exactly. And don't forget back in the time when a female got her period, like maybe a few years after they start having babies.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like we get married in the age of 30 and above, and then in the age of 35 you have the first kid. That is nothing bad with it. It's just different.
Yeah.
So in this time you're getting married, let's have kids and let's grow the family.
Yeah.
So I think it was common with the years, like I think kids became more challenged. So today even Sephardic family maybe have less kids. But in my time, like I born in 85, so there was like more like 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 was maybe a little bit more than common, but you can see easy 4 or 5 kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's, easy.
Now, usually within a family, the kids have roles. Like sometimes there's a guy that's like, I'm the brother, but I act more like the dad. Or I'm the sister, but I'm kind of the person who's like the clown in the group. What were you in the family?
That's a good question. I don't know. I think I just was the happy kids.
Oh, that's cool.
I was the happy kids. I was just like, I was young when my brother was older. So I like, some of them went to the military. The other one went to study in a school, like that he slept there and he stayed there. So we just was like the younger kids, because for us it was. So my family is weird. Like one time my brother put it, because my mom was a little bit crazy, good crazy, just my mom. Because remember, they come from such a different mentality. They come from more a village-like mentality. They grow up in Israel. They come to a country, there's nothing. 1948, like literally, there's barely like building. And this generation was building the country. So they went through so much shenanigans and so much shit. So for them just to raise a family, it was a struggle. And they didn't have the knowledge that we have today about love and whatever.
That's so true.
So it was just, I don't know, it was weird. My brother said like, yeah, sometimes I'm thinking about us, just a bunch of strangers that just been put together in the same room.
Yeah.
And just go figure it out.
And you know what? I've never thought about it before, but for Israel, 1948 wasn't that long ago.
Yeah.
So it's as if you actually know the pilgrims. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like the people who started the whole country.
100%.
Like they're still around. They're still having coffee and tea with you.
100%. And there's even some people that like, I forgot the name of the book that I wrote, but the guy was in Israel, in Palestine. So before it actually became Israel. So when he talk and he says some stories, so he called it Palestine because it was in 1946.
Sure.
The country got its independent in 1948 when the UN passed the law. I think 52 countries say yes, 2 countries say whatever, X amount, but it's passed.
Yeah.
So it's a very fresh, and then they try to brought all the Jews. So you think you have Jews from Yemen, you have Jews from Morocco, you have Jews from Algeria, you have Jews from Ethiopia. That's like, guys, we need Jews, we need people here.
Sure.
To fill it up.
Yes, to fill it up, and some of the other countries just more hostile towards them. So let's bring them to a place that like it's their country to be. So that was a very like building and a challenge in the beginning for those people. But when I born to a country that like ready to go.
Yeah.
So I never can understood what they went through.
Sure.
Because my mom and my dad went through a lot, like to have 6 kids and support us. And we didn't grow up like, we was, I think, like middle class minus, we have clothes, we have food, we have everything. But it was a challenge. It just was a challenge. And maybe also because their mentality. Because the mentality was more, I don't know if the word, I don't know. I don't have a word for it without sound like not nice.
I know what you
But
mean.
you know
Though.
what I
Is
mean?
it
Like-
more like family first instead of like business first?
Yes.
Right. Like I feel like America's more an individualistic society, and sometimes cultures in the Middle East are more familial.
Yeah, more tribe-like.
Yeah.
So it's all about the family. We all together. We all like just it's family. So most of the time, like the dad got a job just for the work, and then you have the mom with 6 kids, and sometimes she doesn't know what to do because maybe she doesn't have help, or the other sister and the other brother also building their own family. So it's a challenge.
Yeah. Okay, so now you're growing up in Haifa.
Growing up in Kiryat Motzkin, that's close to Haifa.
I'm sorry, yeah,
I
that's
always say Haifa because to say Kiryat Motzkin for others is just challenging. So Haifa, it's fantastic.
How do you say the name of your place again?
Kiryat Motzkin.
Kiryat Motzkin.
Yes.
See? Boom.
Yeah, no, boom. You said good.
Call the VO studios. I'm ready to audition. Okay, so I want to get to you before you met Andy. What was life like? How did it make you the person that Andy met?
So that's the cool thing with my life. I didn't love school so much because I don't know. I love life. I love play soccer. I love do other stuff outside. And I have a big group of friends, around like 15 or 20 of us. And there was like my family. So they always kind of put their effort in each other. We spend a lot of time together. And I feel like that my social skills I got from my family as well, but I got also from them. They helped me a lot. Like most of the time that I wasn't in the house, I was with them, or I stay with my other friend dad.
We have to adjust because
Yes, adjust.
Yahel has an envious amount of hair. I am a bald man staring at the most beautiful long, curly hair. I feel like a homeless guy staring into the window of a mansion. Look at that hair. That's what I feel like. It's such beautiful. I feel like I'm watching a commercial for conditioner from Haifa.
But remember, he worked hard for it, so it's okay.
Yeah.
I didn't work hard for this. You should have seen my hair when I was a baby. It was beautiful. I had curly
like him.
hair.
Really?
It is very similar to yours.
Like
Yeah,
you.
the same.
Except
I
one time I told my mom I'm tired of having curly hair. I want to look like a white person. So then she put hair curlers in my hair and then went to work and didn't tell me that when I took the hair curlers out, I'd look like Don King. Then I went to school and got the crap beat out of me for looking like Don King. Even my teacher laughed at me. That's when I knew I'm screwed. I'm screwed.
That's good. Good mom. I love it. Good mom. You're the best. I love her.
I love you back.
We just have an affair.
Yeah. Oh my God. From first minute I met you, I fell in love with you.
How you can say no to this smile and his smile?
my God.
Like, he talk about my energy, but both of you like have the most genuine, real smile. So even if you're going through a bad day, let's say, energetically you just smile and you melt the other person's heart.
Yeah.
So I think, and that's what brought me like to feel at least at home when I was. And I think when I was at your home and it was the first time I saw you, I'm like, out of the way, go to the kitchen, take the food, take my
that's
shoes
what I
off.
love it.
It was great.
I love it.
I really
love
felt
it.
home.
Yeah.
So thank you for that.
Oh no, I love you.
And I'm coming to sleep.
Oh yeah,
I'm prepared
yeah.
right now.
No
So
doubt.
this is a perfect segue. You're speaking about compatibility in terms of behavior. So how did you meet your wife?
Met my wife. So,
American wife, goes to
American wife.
Israel.
I think I met you first.
Yeah, she met me on Skype.
Get out of here.
I swear.
How do you meet on Skype?
So
I
it
don't
was,
think there was a camera. There was only a voiceover.
it was like the old school Skype. It was
Yeah.
just audio. But I was living in Israel. I was doing a volunteer program there. And Yahel was friends with the girl that I was in the program with.
Where in Israel were you at the time?
I was in Ashdod,
Oh, okay.
which is like southern Israel, and he was in northern Israel.
Yeah.
And I rode my bike to her house. She was on Skype with him. They were talking, and I was like, "Who is this guy with this broken English? Super like charming, super cute."
Not even broken. No English.
Just, yeah,
No, no.
just,
Thank you for the broken.
Was it just a voice that you
just
were?
a few. Yeah, just the voice.
So it was the voice that you were attracted to first.
Yes,
That's
yes.
a-
I was
that's
just
cool.
laughing my ass off, and then she showed me the photo, and I was like, "Oh God,
Look
I'm
at that
done."
hair.
And yeah.
I want his hair.
And, yeah, so that was kind of it. Like we took the train up, my friend and I, and to meet Yahel, and she kind of planned it out. So
Did
kinda,
he know this was
He
happening?
didn't know. No,
You
he
were just
didn't
like, I
know.
want to meet this guy.
Yeah, yeah. So she figured it all out and met Yahel, and
That was in Haifa.
that was in
That we
Haifa,
met in
yeah.
Haifa actually in a bar that called I think the Dove. The Dove
Okay.
being a bear.
Oh,
basically.
nice. You remember.
Yeah, and then I remember I didn't start the night drunk. We got drunk. We got drunk as we go. But yeah, I think that was the first time we actually met.
And then he had actually a ticket to the United States, and I was staying in Israel a little bit longer. So we only knew each other for a few weeks there, but we really like hit it off. It was like, I don't know. For me, I could say I fell in love with him the second time I was with you,
Wow.
but truly like fell in love. Like
What was it? What did it?
Okay, I know what it is.
I can tell.
So it was Halloween, and we had a Halloween party, and Yahel came over, and I remember like it was the next morning I woke up. He called me. And like most like American guys, from my experience, like they kind of play the game. You don't know what's going on.
Sure.
Picked up my phone at like 8 a.m, the night after hanging out all night, and he's just like singing on the phone to me. And I was, that was it.
That's it.
That
yeah,
was
I
it.
That
agree.
is so the
Yeah.
that is so the opposite of guys in LA going, should I wait 6 days
Yeah.
or 5 days? I don't want her to know I like her. That's amazing. That's the total. I call singing. What were you singing to her?
I don't know. Probably a song that was famous at the time.
That's great.
I love to sing. I think singing is a good way to release everything. Just sing, and laughter is a free medicine. Just do it more.
I love it.
Yeah,
Do it
I
more.
agree.
And I think that like with Andy, like I don't like why to wait.
Yeah.
You know, like I prefer to continue, and if it's work, fantastic. If it's not, we're not leading each other for just
Yeah.
for the like to wait, like exactly how you say, if I like it or not. It just,
Yeah. Just go for it.
Yeah. Amen.
Swing the
Amen.
bat. If you hit, you hit. If you strike out, you strike out. Who cares? You know what? I agree. I would rather, if someone says maybe to me, I go, it's just no.
Me too. Me
It's
too.
just no.
Love it.
Don't say maybe.
Yes.
It's yes
Or no.
Or no. There is no maybe.
I
I hate
love what you say.
maybe is more insulting than no.
I agree. I prefer to say no so I can continue with my life or whatever I do, if it's business opportunity, etc., 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 than you being shy to say what you feel.
Yeah.
Yes means yes, no means no. Let's go. Let's continue after that.
Exactly.
But maybe I'm with you. I just like, just say no, man.
Yeah.
Just say no.
So that's great. So you say it was like you're on a blackjack table and you pushed all your chips into a song.
everything. Everything. If it's
I
been
love it.
taken, game's on. If not, life. Continue.
And Andy loved it. You hear that? All you moronic single dudes that listen to idiotic strategies like nagging women and insulting them so they'll like you. Stop playing the game. It's 2018. Just sing to them the night after you meet. Yahel Sharabi promises it will work. No one will think you're weird. It helps to have a charming accent and beautiful curly hair.
Accent is always good.
Of course.
And there. And there.
Oh my
But then what we did, I think that then, because then I used to live to the state, like a few weeks after.
So just by coincidence, you happen to be
So,
going to the state.
So the way I came to the state, I came to like work in a summer camp.
Oh,
There's like
cool.
certain program of Jewish summer camp. So I just came to work as a counselor. And that's the first time that I'm like, dude, that's so nice. Like we land, I think in New York, the summer camp was in Pennsylvania. We take a bus towards the camp and it was like, so cool. And Pennsylvania is beautiful. You have a bunch of like trees and forest and lake, and it's very.
What was different? What was it about America when you got here where you went, wow, this is different, or this is so nice?
So New York is just New York. It's just
Crazy.
It's so cool. They call us twice, New York, New York. So it's the people, the diversity, the style, the vibe, the street, the taxi.
Yeah.
Dude, I saw a taxi. It was a yellow taxi. I'm like, that's what I saw in the movie.
Oh, that's such a, you know what's so funny? One of my friends said this. He said, you know how there's people and then celebrity people? He said, there's also cities and celebrity cities. If every country is a person, America's like the most famous person. Right? Is there almost like a nostalgia? So you see this New York taxi cab and you remember seeing it in a movie when you're in Israel?
When I grew up on the movies, I also like Arnold Schwarzenegger and all of this Jean-Claude Van Damme, and you see all these movies taking place in the States, and then you're like, wow, that's like I saw it in the TV and now I see it in real life. I can actually touch it.
Yeah.
So it was just mind-blowing. And I love the size. It's because Israel is such a tiny country.
Sure.
So suddenly you have like biggest country.
Everything's possible.
Yes, you have so much diversity people-wise, so you can go eat whatever food you want, see any culture you want, go to Chinatown, go there. You can get the whole world in one city.
Yeah.
And it's I find it fantastic, because in Israel, there's only Israelis. There's different ethnicities, but it's only Israelis. Here you have all ethnicities, and all of each one do itself.
Yeah.
So it's cool. You can get like a small trip. Instead of go to China, you go to Chinatown.
Sure.
And it's amazing. So that was one thing that I just like, and I remember me coming and I'm just like standing in New York and I'm like looking up to the building and I'm like, shit, that's fucking high.
Yeah.
Like that's, whoa.
It's impressive, right? When you see it in real life.
Very impressive. Very impressive.
So you're in America falling in love with America. Andy's in Israel falling in love with Israel. And how do you guys reconnect?
True. I think I actually wanted to stay in Israel.
Yeah.
I was told, it was just filling me up in all ways. Like it was literally the best experience I've ever had in my life. Was just being there and just being immersed in the culture and the people. But I had to get back.
And what was it for you that was different as an American being in Israel?
I think for me, like I had a good childhood, but I grew up in a very like cookie cutter community. And like it was safe, it was okay, but I always knew there was something more. Like it just like, there's just gotta be more than this. And then there's this thing called Birthright, which sends every Jewish child around the world to Israel for free.
We're in Los Angeles, Andy.
Okay, yeah, true.
You're expanding hamburgers to a chubby guy. I'm just kidding. If you don't know what Birthright is, you have no business living in Los Angeles or eating bagels ever again.
But yeah, I don't know. I went on this trip. I actually went back the second time is when I met Yahel. But I just had such, I don't know, it was just people were like, they're speaking real. They were just so warm and so inviting. I remember like one time going to Thanksgiving and my aunt was like, oh, no, you can't invite this person because there's not enough chairs. Like that was like the thing. And then in Israel, it's all like, get more people in here. Like everyone's welcome, doors open.
I love it.
And even when Yahel was on his way to the States, one of his friends called me and was like, Andy, we have to hang out. Yahel told me like, you're super special. And like, he wants me to show you a good time. And like, literally from like the moment he picked me up to the train station to like the next morning, it was just the sweetest, most attentive, most like fun experience ever.
Wow.
So I don't know. That's just an example of why I fell in love with it and why I wanted to stay.
That's great.
But I had to get back. So then I went back to San Francisco and then...
So she went back to San Francisco and I went back to Connecticut. To just kind of, because that was the second time I was in the States.
On opposite sides of the damn country.
Yes. And I remember the date because it was January 5th because we work in sales. So we was strong in the Christmas time. And then I told her like, after the Christmas, I'm just going to come to you and let's take it from there. Like, we don't know. And when I came, it was January 5th. She came back from Israel, like for maybe a few days before. I think you used to live in the Mission, right? In the Mission. She used to live with one of her friend, Natalie, that's fantastic too. And then I just booked a flight, went to her, and then we have the best month of my life. It was like it was just so fun. Like San Francisco is fantastic. The love there is fantastic. The vibe is fantastic. The authenticity of the city, everybody is so cool. And to do it with someone that you bond with and you start develop a feeling towards there was like a dream.
Yeah.
Like a dream.
Yeah. It's definitely special to experience things like that when you're with someone you love. Like I worked in advertising and I used to travel so much, but I traveled alone. And then like one time I was in Florence and my friend said, let's go to Naples. And I'm like, no, I don't want to go to Naples alone. The first time I go to Venice, I'm going to go with someone I love. It's too romantic. There's certain places. It's just even if I go back to Paris now with Claire, my girlfriend, it'd be a completely different experience than when I went alone.
Yeah,
I agree.
You know what I mean? and yelled at people in the street and you got in a bar fight. That's not Paris. That's not what you're supposed to do in Paris. Get in a fight with a Moroccan Frenchman and you're not supposed to do, that's not the Paris experience. We're supposed to eat a baguette with Claire in robes.
I agree. And together we always stronger. It's just much more fun to be together and share experience and share like different perspective of view, so then you can grow from the other person's opinion, you know, because I have 2 eyes, 1 brain, she got 2 eyes, 1 brain. Together we can have 4 eyes and view everything differently.
That's beautiful. I 100% agree with that. It's so nice that you guys fell in love with the places you came from and then fell in love with each other. Would you say that was the order? Is that?
Yes, I think so. I think for her, she fell in, like I fell in love
a little bit later,
but not just because I was a boy, not because she wasn't. She was fantastic. I just like, I want to travel the world, I want to do this, but like I definitely developed an emotion for her. But I think men's generally is just take them more time. Oh, I can only talk on my behalf, so sorry, not all men's, but like for me, it just took kind of a little bit more time. But I definitely was there from the beginning, and I want to be there, and I came. It just like it took me more time because where I was in my life. Yeah. But I felt the vibe, I felt the connection. I want to be part of it. And I think after this month, it just like, it was fantastic. And then I know that like, dude, she's the one.
That's great.
Love is great.
Amen.
Yes.
Amen. Love is so much better.
Yeah.
Like,
it's so better than hate. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. It's exhausting.
And hate have result. It's going to end in like, we all killing each other. Love, what's going to happen? People are going to go give hugs, feed each 100%. Other.
And you know what? Nobody gets PTSD from loving too much. No, that doesn't happen. So our bodies are telling us if you hate someone hard and then you have nightmares about it, it was wrong. It was wrong. That's not what you're supposed to do. But no one wakes up a year later going, oh my God, that one time I slept with that girl. Like no one does that. We should be loving way harder and hating way less. That's what we're designed to do.
We have a quote on the window in our studio. Mommy, you want to say what the quote say?
Of the doctor?
Yeah.
Go for it.
So a wise physician, someone asked a wise physician what the best medicine for human, and he say it's love. And then someone laugh and ask if it doesn't work. So he smile and say, increase the dose.
I love it. Increase the dose.
Just give them more.
That's great. I love it. Hugh Hefner agrees with that theory.
That's for sure.
I think he was addicted. Okay, so how about, when did you guys decide Yahel is coming to America to be with Andy and you guys are going to start a life together?
So that was about 3 months after we were together. We were walking up some massive hill in San Francisco. I think we were going to the bus.
Yes.
And he asked if we should get married. So it was 3 months into it. Because, you know, we knew that like he was like on a clicking time bomb. Like
I was on a visa. And I need to kind of leave the country. And I told her like, I love it. Like, I want to be here with you. Or in Israel, I prefer to be here. If it depends on her, we actually today be in Israel. She loves Israel much more because I think she much like love the culture. That I will give it to the whole Middle East. Because I don't think it's only Israel, because I came across Egyptian and Lebanese and other culture that just like you feel home right away, because that's the mentality.
100%.
So Israel, it's part of it. And don't forget that all the Jews came from Yemen, Lebanon.
You know, the Jewish, it's cousin for the Middle East people. I don't know why they fight. They're stupid.
You know, it's funny. Honest to God, when Yahel came over to our house, it was as if everybody was visiting me, Kity, and Yahel.
Yeah.
Like he's just like one of my cousins. He is like exactly. It's like you came in and you just clicked right away. I'm like, yeah, that's...
He looked like us.
We're the same.
His energy, love, fun. You feel he's in his home. That's what I love you right away. You know, the energy was love. That's the most important.
Yeah, that's what people forget. God, there's no maps in biblical texts.
Yeah.
There's no maps. And everybody hates each other. Like, why do you hate each other? God didn't draw lines. Just like we're all the same. There's no religion that says we didn't all come from the same place.
Yeah.
There's none.
Yeah.
I think that one time I was looking on the border or Lebanon or Syria, and I told to my mom, oh my God, let's go there. And then she told me like, we can, there is a fence and it's whatever. And I'm told like, but mom, the mountain is the same mountain. Like the mountain doesn't stop because I said it stopped.
Exactly.
The creativity of nature continues all over without choosing sides. It's the human that chooses side and divide and roll, how they call it.
Yeah.
So I'm agree with that, man.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's what I love about this podcast. It's kind of been happening organically, and I love this. So many people who are either immigrants, thinking about immigrating, going through an immigration process, listen in. So I like to ask people, what was your toughest day in America? And then we'll get to your best day. But what was immigrating to a new country? I mean, my God, you're unplugging from everything. You know, to leave the country you were born in, such a big family, and your family, I would say, is even more than the 6 kids. It's also that group of friends that like made you who you are. So now you're leaving all that behind. You're coming to a new country to be with the woman you love, which is another amazing thing. True. What was your most difficult period?
My difficult period, I think I have 2 difficult periods.
Great.
So the first one, it just was the first years here because my friends didn't want me to be here.
Sure.
Because they love me, because we have a big group and I'm kind of the glue because I'm just getting along with everybody. Everybody come to my place, we smoke hookah, we eat, my mom making food, everybody feel home. Yeah. So that was like, I think it took them a few years to kind of just do it, let it go. Like, sure. I want to stay, I want to live here. They don't need to convince me anymore. My second scary days, that's kind of when Donald Trump became president. And the reason is because Claire and Andy was together and they're like watching the TV like scared. And I'm like, baby, don't go to bed. He's not going to win. Like, literally, like, don't worry. Yeah. I went to bed and then when I wake up and just Andy told me and she was like terrified. She was just like not cool with that. And then this is the first time that I felt outsider in this country.
And you were in
You're
the
not
process.
alone.
You were in the process at the time of becoming an American citizen.
So I didn't know what's going to happen with my green card.
Wow.
So I shit, he really doesn't like immigrant. And I'm an immigrant. Suddenly you realize that you're an immigrant.
And he's an immigrant. And his family are immigrants.
All of America based.
And his wife is an immigrant. And the wife before her was an immigrant.
All of the wife, brother.
Yeah.
So it's like, I really felt like, fuck, like I have my green card, but it doesn't mean I'm an American yet. It doesn't mean I have the passport. So I'm basically prone to risk. Yeah. So that's the first time that I literally shit, baby, we have to move it forward because I don't know when he's going to change the rules. And they're like, okay, all the people that have green card, it's canceled. We give you 90 days visa. Come and do again the interview. Or I don't know. I don't know what the rules.
And imagine, I think people don't realize that, if you're born here and you're a national here, the privilege that you have. Oh. Imagine if you fall in love with someone and a government can dictate whether or not you can be together.
Yeah.
A freaking government, a corrupt government that's influenced by corporations and lobbyists and all kinds of other motivators. And it might impact whether or not you can be with the person you love most in the whole world. That's insane.
Yeah.
That was very, very I remember that I felt scared. And I'm not, it's not that I'm the most brave person, but I don't believe in fear because I think it's just literally limited your vision. So I prefer to focus on creative thinking. But when that came across, it was damn, there's a good chance I'm out.
Wow.
I'm out.
But you're not alone. Because even for me, I've been here 45 years. I was so scared because I start hate for immigrant. Yeah. And I said, what's going on? And I never anybody asked me what's your accent from or your nationality, except after Trump.
Wow.
That's not cool.
And I felt that's not right.
Yeah.
I've been here.
And it was the way they asked too.
Oh, the way. It was the
energy.
Where are you from?
Right.
Yeah. Oh my God. And one guy, he put his finger in my face. Oh. Where are you from? And I told him from Texas.
Yeah.
And he said, Texas, they don't speak this accent. I said, okay, well, I'm from the shithole country. Because Trump, he says people come from the shithole countries, they need to be out. And he said, oh, that's mean you're not legal. I said, yeah, go tell Trump. Yeah. How you feel? This is our home. And somebody tell you that after 45 years, so you're gonna go, just ridiculous. So don't feel bad because all immigrant, and especially if they say Middle East or, it's just it's not right.
I agree. Yeah. I agree.
But we're gonna be okay. America is the greatest country.
Amen.
We're gonna be okay.
Amen.
Yeah. Lots of people.
This country built on diversity. That's the beauty of this country.
100%.
And you cannot forget it. You cannot it's you almost what I felt like every American after this day look at me like I'm what you doing here? It's not your place.
It's crazy.
He gave them the rights. Not that they took it. I'm not saying all of them like this, not at all. But that's at least what taking place in my head. Like it gave them the rights to push me away.
Yeah,
like to ask you, like, where are you from?
Yeah.
Fucking care.
Yeah, exactly.
What you talking about?
And it's funny too. I think there's too much focus on who's made in America and not enough on who's made of America. America was started by a company. It was the Royal Dutch Company. And the reason why the streets in New York are all numbered is because they didn't want people who couldn't read English to not be able to find their jobs.
Wow.
That's what New York was for. Central Park was made a public park so that people from the top of New York could mix with people from the bottom of New York. And I think like ideas are like DNA. The more mixed they are, the healthier the dog is.
Yeah.
Right? Like if the same ideas all the time, that's why the southern, if the middle of America in small towns where people are all the same, it's like a pug. Its face is squashed. It can't breathe. It can't run. It chokes on its own tongue, and then it blames the beautiful mutt that follows it. Oh, look at that! Oh, I'm a pug. But it's purebred thoughts are just as bad as purebred DNA. There's too many problems.
And going back to what Kity was saying about like asking about your accent, like it's amazing that she knows multiple languages. Like
Exactly.
like that's so cool.
I wish I can say I'm smarter than you. You know, I speak 2 languages.
You are smarter than that guy.
You know, but I can say 3, but I'm not gonna say that. It's 2 languages. That means I'm smart. You know, when I get them immigration from back home, I have to meet in American embassy the consul. And I don't speak English, but he looked at me. He was tall, nice man. He said, "You're gonna be okay in America. You're gonna be very rich with language. You're gonna start to learn English, and you have the Arabic."
What a
How
nice guy.
sweet! Yeah.
Cool.
I would hug that guy today if I met him. I really would.
And that's the consul of the American embassy.
American embassy, yeah.
So they give you love before you come over here.
Yeah.
That's America.
100%.
Yeah, that's America.
Katie, you do speak 3 languages.
Yeah.
You also speak the language of love. And it's a beautiful language.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people speak the language of hatred. It's not necessarily vocal, but it could be in body language. It could be in certain words that you
100%.
empower
Yes.
people. So you speak 3 languages.
Well done.
Bravo.
Yes.
Bravo.
So that's a perfect segue too. Have you done this before?
No, my
This is
first
perfect.
time.
What is
Actually, it
this?
feels so comfortable.
You're
I
a
thought it's going to be
natural.
so much more scary. But
No, scary. Whatever. What are you talking about?
she's next to me. I feel
She's like a mama
it,
bear.
yeah.
She's like,
I'm
so that's a
protected.
perfect segue. The language of love. So we went from your toughest time in America, very understandably. I'm sure my mom could relate to some of those feelings when you guys immigrated here and a government having influence over you. But what about the best days? What's been the best so far?
The best day was, I can say, I think that me and Andy opened our studio, and it was kind of you start living the American dream. Not necessarily my goal is to get rich tomorrow, but I practice what I want to practice, and I share with the world what I want to share in such a beautiful way. And it was such a fantastic way to work for yourself. And me and Andy, of course, working for ourselves and just share our love, our vision with our client, with customer that will come across. That was kind of a fantastic success for me. And another day, of course, when I passed my citizenship.
Which was just a few days ago. You've made America better already.
Yes, you are.
It's a really big deal, man. That's a really big deal.
And you work hard. You start your own business together with love.
Yes.
That's, some American people, they cannot do that. So that show immigrants, they work so hard.
He's the hardest worker I've ever seen. Like he's learned, I mean, first of all, where you're English, like he learned all of his studies in another language. Like he knows words I don't know, like many of them.
Smart.
Like he's very smart, very driven, very,
Yeah,
I'm really
good
proud
for
of
you.
Thank you.
Good for you. We're so proud of you.
Thank you.
We're
I
lucky to
appreciate
have
your
you in
love.
our
Kitty.
life.
I'm grateful to be in your life.
Yeah.
You're amazing.
Yeah.
family.
We are. And America's lucky to have him here.
Of course,
America's
yes.
very lucky to have him here.
Of course, yes.
A business owner. Like you came into America, it's almost like you played soccer and right away you did a bicycle kick. Right? You came into America and you're like, I'm going to do the hardest thing there is to do. I'm going to start my own business.
Yeah.
And it's like a unique business with a really original take on like health and fitness and love. And you can speak to it better than I can, but I think you guys are doing something that's really unique and original, and it's so you. It is you guys that's like, I feel you guys when I walk in that studio. And that's so impressive to do that. You're like your first few years in America to start your own business and have it already on an amazing trajectory is really great.
It's awesome.
we a big believer. We literally just want to serve. We want to share ourselves. We want to serve, and we want to be here for the people.
Yeah.
Because what more better than be together? We are social creature.
Yeah.
If we're not going to be with each other, and we're not going to talk, and we're not going to laugh, and we're not going to have shoulder to cry on each other, what the point?
Yeah.
Like we're not going to leave this planet alive. We're all going to be die one day.
Exactly.
So the better is to share journeys together. That's my philosophy. The more, the better. The more we can have time together, laugh, and successful is not necessarily money. It's the amount of positive people around you, and
100%.
lovers around you, and people that want to share to the community and serve the community and just give.
Yeah. You know what's funny? I used to live in Brooklyn with Claire, and there was outside of our house, there was a guy that graffitied a fence, and it said, "Some people are so poor, all they have is money." Yeah.
Yeah.
And I absolutely agree.
I agree with that.
Like people that think money is the thing, it's like, it's like an umbrella made out of paper. You got way too much confidence in that thing, baby. It's just paper, kid.
Yeah.
It's just paper.
It's an illusion, because what I realized that my goal is not money. My goal is to build a beautiful, with my wife, with Andy, beautiful, successful business that can serve the people. Money is a result of our hard work.
100%.
Like, of course, we're going to make money because people want your service. Of course, you're going to make money because people want to learn what you learn through all the time that you take to educate yourself, to share this education with them. So they were willing to put money in the end. But the goal is not money.
Yeah.
It never was money.
Can I ask you something? Because I saw something on social media recently that blew me away. And I was like, that's got to be a career highlight. And it was, is it okay to speak about this?
Always.
Okay, so you are a personal fitness consultant. How would you describe it for a very famous singer?
One of our singers.
Like an energy producer.
Energy producer. This is so cool, man.
Yeah.
This is me. I wish I had a ponytail during this conversation. I swear to God. An energy producer? Are you kidding me?
That's the way I look at it.
Yeah. One of our clients is first of all, he's an amazing human being. I'm in love with him. He's just like the coolest. Mm-hmm. So he's the biggest Persian singer. His name is Abi. Mm-hmm. And I started training his son 6 years ago. And along the way, I started training him. And I didn't know he's like big Persian singer. He's so humble. He's so sweet energy, positive, like fantastic human being. Mm-hmm. And then one time he's like, yeah, there's any chance you can come with us to one of the show in Canada, just to do exercise before, do some breathing before the show, do some massage after to kind of calm the nerve and prepare for bed because you have another show the day after.
Yeah.
And I came the first time and he's like, dude, there's 7,000 people screaming your name. You didn't tell me your dad is like amazing.
Yeah.
And he's performing for the last 50 years. I love how Rafe put it. It's like Frank Sinatra for the American. He's for the Persian.
Amazing.
And
it was your birthday.
That was my birthday.
When you had, was it 7,000 people?
There was 7,000 people. I was so scared. And it was so scary.
You were backstage. Did you know he was going to do this?
No, I did not know because I don't really celebrate my birthday. Yeah. She know it. Like every time, what you want to do to birthday? Mommy, let's me and you go do something just for us. Like I'm not like, let's do a party and let's get fucked up.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I just love to keep it simple.
Yeah.
And he just kind of like, just called me to the stage and I came and then he just...
Were you surprised?
I was surprised.
Did you know you were going to walk out in front of 7,000 people?
No, I did not. Because I didn't thought about it. Like, because they brought me one time to thank me and it was like when we was in a tour in the Middle East and it was very, very sweet. And I thought that's it. One time just like to show gratitude and I really appreciate it. But this time I didn't thought about because I don't celebrate my birthday. And then when I came out, I'm like, Rafe, dude, you will kill me. Like I can get a heart attack from this stuff. Like, you thought we forgot. And I'm like, oh man.
And all those people saying happy birthday to you.
Yes.
That's a pretty funny thing for a guy who doesn't celebrate birthdays. To have 7,000 people saying happy birthday to you. And it was an amazing piece of video too. Could we use that video to promote the episode?
Yeah,
I want people to see that because it was such a beautiful.
Yeah,
it was so, and your hair makes an amazing appearance. Can you tell the bald guy's obsessed with his hair?
No, you can use Claire hair.
I am covered in Claire's hair constantly.
Okay, when I cut my hair, I can give you half.
Okay, that's
then
the deal.
Can do some wigs because I do cut my hair once in every 2 years. So.
We could start a company called Locks for Comedy.
Yeah.
Guys with beautiful hair give it to bald guys that have lost their hair from the stress of doing stand-up comedy. It'd be perfect.
I will have to.
Dude, well, let me ask you one last question.
Please.
What would Yahel, newly American citizen, what kind of advice would he give to Yahel who was coming to America but scared to come, scared to leave his friends, scared to leave his family, scared to come over here?
go for it. Ignore everybody's opinion. That's the great country ever. Be part of it. It's fun to be part of something big. So go for it. Stick with it. Don't stop. Don't slow. Like there will be challenges, but that's part of the way. And just over them with a smile and just became an American.
Yeah, I love that.
Beautiful.
Woohoo! Yeah.
Dude, thank you so much for being a guest, Andy and Yahel. And can we tell everybody about the studio?
Yes, please.
That'd be wonderful.
Yeah.
Soul Pump Fitness.
Soul Pump Fitness in what part of LA?
In West LA.
In West
on
LA.
Westwood Boulevard.
It's a really great studio, a really interesting way of working out your body. I've been a person that I grew up doing bodybuilding and then boxing and then all these things that kind of tightened up my body. And every time I watch the stuff that they do, I'm like, this is really amazing. I'm coming to a class very soon. It's intimidating to me, but I'm going to do it. It's really different, really progressive. And I love the way that you guys do your brand. Thank you so much for being guests.
Thank you
for being my friends. And we love you guys.
We love you back.
Congratulations. We're so proud of you, both of you. And inshallah, everything gonna be awesome for you guys. So proud of you. Congratulations.
All right, guys. Thanks so much for listening. Please keep telling everyone you know. Rate, like, subscribe. If you're looking for comedy, you can follow me at tamerkattan.com for shows in and around Los Angeles. And next week, I am going to be at Laughs Unlimited in Old Town Sacramento. Check out their website for a date.